A very good morning to one and all. Before we begin our program, I request all the participants to kindly mute themselves and keep their videos off throughout our session. Towards the end of the session, our guests will be addressing the questions asked by the participants. I request the participants to put their questions in the chat box so that I will read them out to our eminent speakers. A very good morning to one and all. Honorable Shri Justice P.E. Sayyar, Judge, Bombay High Court, and Executive Chairman, Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority. Honorable Srinipal Justice Roshan Reddy, former Judge, Bombay High Court. Honorable Shri Abhay Mantri, Member Secretary, Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority. Honorable Shri S.B. Agarwal, Principal Judge, City Civil and Session Court, Mumbai, and Chairman, District Legal Services Authority, Mumbai. Honorable Shri Yatin Game, Secretary, District Legal Services Authority, Mumbai. Professor Vaishali Gurav, Advocate Balasaheb Apte College of Members of Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority, District Legal Services Authority, Trustee Members of People's Education Society, its advocates, esteemed professors and academicians, esteemed members of the legal fraternity, students and friends. On behalf of Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority and People's Education Society's Advocate Balasaheb Apte College of Law, I, Professor Neha Athavale, welcome you all for this online legal literacy program on understanding alternate dispute resolution. Let us begin today's program with a song created for National Legal Services Authority. Nalsa song, please.
एहसास न्याय का सबके लिए, आकाश न्याय का सबके लिए, उल्लास न्याय का सबके लिए, विश्वास न्याय का सबके लिए। अपने इस हिंदुस्तान पर हक हमारा भी तो है, इंसाफ के इस आशिया पर हक हमारा भी तो है। एक मुट्ठी आसमां पर हक हमारा भी तो है, एक मुट्ठी आसमां पर हक हमारा भी तो है।
ये ना सोचो दर्द हमारा कहीं सुना न जाएगा, अब न्यायालय खुद चलकर चौपालों तक आएगा।
लाचारों को न्याय मिलेगा, दुखियारों को न्याय मिलेगा, कमजोरों को न्याय मिलेगा, मजलूमों को न्याय मिलेगा। अपने इस हिंदुस्तान पर हक हमारा भी तो है, उम्मीदों के इस गुलसितां पर हक हमारा भी तो है। एक मुट्ठी आसमां पर हक हमारा भी तो है, एक मुट्ठी आसमां पर हक हमारा भी तो है।
गरीब और कमजोरों को मुफ्त एवं सक्षम कानूनी सहायता के लिए प्रतिबद्ध विधिक सेवा प्राधिकरण नालसा, न्याय सबके लिए।
Honorable Shri Justice A. Sayyed Sir, Judge, Bombay High Court and Executive Chairman, Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority. Honorable Srimati Justice Roshan Dalvi Madam, former Judge, Bombay High Court. Honorable Shri Abhay Mantri Sir, Member Secretary, Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority. Honorable Shri S.B. Agrawal Sir, Principal Judge, City Civil and Sessions Court and Chairman of District Legal Services Authority, Mumbai. Honorable Shri Yatin Gamesh Sir, Secretary, District Legal Services Authority, Mumbai. Esteemed members of the Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority, District Legal Services Authority, trustee members of the People's Education Society, senior advocates, principals, professors, and academicians, esteemed members of the legal fraternity, my dear ex-students, students, and friends. On behalf of the Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority, I extend a very warm welcome to you all to this online legal literacy program on understanding alternate dispute resolutions. I deeply regret the technical glitches we had in starting the program. It is because that we have an overwhelming response to this event that we have a lot of participation. I earnestly request all the participants to kindly mute themselves and put their videos on off so that we will have a better network for telecasting this event. I earnestly request everyone to kindly mute themselves. Also, because of the heavy rainfall, our network has been a little low, which is causing technical issues in this program. Please kindly bear with us. On today's program, I can think of a famous quote by Joseph Greenbaum, and I quote him: "An ounce of mediation is worth a pound of arbitration and a ton of litigation." So litigation is a traditional method of dispute resolution over the past years. Alternate methods of dispute resolution are growing in popularity. It is only apt that as students of law, we all have a deeper understanding of the term legal act. None other than our eminent speakers for today. I take this opportunity to thank
मी त्यांना
Syed sir,
4 वेळेस सांगितलं ते मॅडमला
Honorable
कन्वे केलं मेसेज
Madam,
काय त्याच्यावर काय आता
for
ते त्याला
gracing
दुसरं आता
occasion
ते
today.
ते आठवले मॅडमचं
Yeah.
बघतो मी ते आठवले मॅडम
Gracing this occasion today with their virtual presence. I also take this
ते काय आता त्याला ते
thank Mantri sir, Agrawal sir, and Gamesh sir for
ओके
giving
ओके
us
ओके
an opportunity to collaborate with their esteemed institutions. I once again wholeheartedly welcome you all. Thank you, and I once again request you all to please mute yourselves. Thank you very much.
I will give you a quick introduction now. Abhay Mantri sir has completed his legal education from Aurangabad, Maharashtra. Initially, he practiced at district and taluka courts at Ambad, Jalna. From 1996 till 2008, he practiced at Aurangabad bench of the Bombay High Court and various other courts. He was selected as a district judge in 2008 and worked in this capacity till 2017. In 2017, he was appointed as Principal District Judge at Vashi. In 2018, he worked in the capacity of Registrar Admin at the Aurangabad bench of the Bombay High Court. In 2019, he was appointed as Principal District Judge at Nagpur and later was appointed as Registrar Vigilance 1 at the Bombay High Court. Since August 2020, he has been working as Member Secretary, Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority.
Please, I request Honorable Shri Abhay Mantri sir, Member
Thank you,
Secretary,
madam.
Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority, to kindly take over.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Sri Justice A. Sayyed, Judge of the Bombay High Court and Executive Chairman of the Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority and Chairman of Main Mediation Monitoring Committee. Honorable Srimati Justice Roshan Dalvi, former Judge of the Bombay High Court. Srimati Vaishali Gaurav, In-charge Principal of ABA College of Law. Sri S.B. Agrawal, Principal Judge, City Civil Court, Mumbai, and Chairman of DLSA Mumbai. Sri Game, Secretary of DLSA Mumbai. Professors and dear students, good afternoon. I welcome all of you to this webinar on the subject of understanding alternate dispute resolution. Alternate dispute resolution, commonly known as ADR, is a term used to describe several different modes of resolving legal disputes. It is experienced by the business world as well as common men that it is impracticable for many individuals to file suits and get timely justice. The courts are overburdened with cases, resulting in delay of so many cases in which urgent relief is required. ADR mechanism is developed with an aim to solve this problem. ADR methods are being increasingly acknowledged in the field of law and commercial sector, both at national and international levels. Its diverse methods can help the parties to resolve their disputes at their own terms, cost effectively, expeditiously. ADR techniques are in addition to the courts in all contentious matters which are capable of being resolved under law between the parties. Several categories of disputes, especially commercial, industrial disputes. From the study of different ADR techniques, it is found that ADR method offers the best solution in respect of commercial dispute, where the economic growth of the country rests. The goal of ADR is enshrined in the Indian Constitution's preamble itself, which enjoins the state to all citizens of India justice, social, economic, and political liberty, equality, fraternity. The law of community India, in its 14th report, categorically states the results not from the procedure laid down by the legislation, but by reason and provisions intended to fight the dispute of proceedings. The Honorable Supreme Court, in the case of Bridgman versus
Mohammad Sodhi ji, please mute yourself.
party referred to as neutral, a skilled helper who either assists the parties in a dispute or conflict to reach at a decision by agreement or facilitate in arriving at a solution to the problem between the party to the dispute. The most common types of ADR are arbitration, conciliation, mediation, judicial settlement, and lok adalat. In India, the Parliament has amended the Civil Procedure Code by inserting Section 89 as well as Order 10 Rule 1821C of Section of CPC. Section 89 of CPC provides for the settlement of disputes outside the court. It is based on the recommendation made by the Law Commission of India and Mallimat Committee. It was suggested by the Law Commission of India that the court may require attendance of any party to the suits or proceedings to appear in person with a view to arrive at an amicable settlement of dispute between the parties and an attempt to settle the dispute between the parties amicably. Mallimat Committee recommended to make it obligatory for the courts to refer the dispute after issues are framed for settlement either by way of arbitration, conciliation, mediation, judicial settlement or Lok Adalat. It is only when the parties fail to get their dispute settled through any of the ADR method, then only the suit could proceed further. In view of the above, new section 89 has been inserted in the code in order to provide for ADR. This technique of ADR has been used by many countries for effective dispute resolution. The most common type of ADR is mediation. In fact, mediation had been described by some as the most appropriate dispute resolution method. Mediation as a tool for dispute resolution is not a new concept. To put it in simple terms, mediation is an amicable settlement of dispute which involves of neutral third party who acts as a facilitator. Some technical issues आहे का? A form of ADR is a technique for resolution of disputes outside the courts where the parties to a dispute refer it to one or more persons called as arbitrators by whose decision they agree to be bound. It is a resolution technique in which a third party reviews evidence in the case and imposes a decision that is legally binding on both sides and enforceable. There are limited rights of review and appeal of arbitration awards. Arbitration is not the same as judicial proceeding and mediation. The third method is a conciliation. Conciliation is an ADR process whereby the parties to a dispute use a conciliator who meets with the parties separately in order to resolve their differences. They do this by lowering tensions, improving communications, interpreting issues, providing technical assistance, exploring potential solutions, and bring about a negotiated settlement. It differs from arbitration in that manner. Section 89 of the CPC also refers to the judicial settlement as one of the mode of ADR. Of course, there are no specified rules framed so far as such settlement. However, the term judicial settlement is defined in Section 18 of the Code. It has been provided that when there is a judicial settlement, the provisions of Legal Services Authority Act will apply. It means that in a judicial settlement, the concerned judge tries to settle the dispute between the parties amicably. At the instance of judiciary, any amicable settlement is resorted to and arrived at in the given case, then such settlement will be deemed to be a decree within the meaning of the Legal Services Authorities Act. The concept that is gaining popularity is that of Lok Adalat or People's Court, established by government to settle the dispute through conciliation and compromise. It is a judicial institution and dispute settlement agency developed by the people themselves for social justice based on settlement or compromise, which reach through systematic negotiation. ADR is usually less formal, less expensive, and less time consuming than regular trial. ADR can also give people more opportunity to determine when and how their dispute will be resolved. The ADR method has strength because it yields enforceable decisions and is backed by a judicial framework. It is also flexible because it allows the contestants to choose procedures which fit the nature of the dispute and the business context in which it occurs. The process of ADR mechanism is facilitative, advisory, and determinative in nature. Therefore, today we are blessed with presence of Honorable Sri Justice A. Sayyad and Honorable Srimati Justice Roshan Dalvi, guidance of Honorable Lordship and Ladyship, who definitely enrich our knowledge and make us understand the ADR mechanism in its spirit. I express deep gratitude to Honorable Lordship and Ladyship for gracing this webinar. I express special thanks to the organizer who offered me this wonderful opportunity. I wish all the students a prosperous and bright future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abhay Mantri sir, for your introductory speech. And moving on in the program, we feel extremely privileged to have with us today Honorable Shri Justice A. Sayyad, Judge, Bombay High Court, and Executive Chairman, Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority. Honorable Shri Justice A. Sayyad obtained his degree in law from University of Bombay in the year 1984. He was on the panel of Central Government Bombay High Court Senior Counsel Group 1. He was also an assistant government pleader, Bombay High Court original side. He has appeared in public interest litigation matters relating to mangroves, garbage dumping, free and concessional medical treatment for poor in charitable hospitals, biomedical waste, malnutrition, among others, on behalf of Union of India and state government. He was on the panel of several public undertakings and has also appeared in arbitration on their behalf. He was also a public notary. Sir was appointed as a judge at the Bombay High Court in the year 2007, and since then he has extensively handled various cases ranging in various matters. Apart from his official work, he is also a very keen sports enthusiast. Sir, we are honored to have you with us. I request everybody to kindly please mute themselves and put their videos off so that we will be able to hear His Lordship clearly. Please mute yourselves, everyone. I request Honorable Shri Justice A. Sayyad to kindly address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to all of you. Honorable Justice Roshan Dalvi, former judge of the Bombay High Court, Srimati Vaishali Gaurav, principal of Sahib Apte College of Law, Shri A.J. Mantri, Member Secretary, Legal Services Authority, Mumbai, Shri Agrawal, Shri Gautam, and other secretaries, DLSE, advocates, professors, friends, my dear students. Today we have connected online to attend the virtual lecture to be delivered by Her Ladyship Justice Roshan Dalvi on the topic Alternate Dispute Resolution. Normally, when there is a dispute between parties, they approach the court of law. Alternate means another mode. Dispute means a conflict, and resolution means to resolve or settle the conflict through an alternate mode. So alternate dispute resolution means to resolve or settle the conflict through an alternate mode, that is outside the court, instead of adjudication of the dispute by a court of law. The greatest challenge before the Indian judicial system today is the voluminous explosion of docket. The courts are flooded with new and old cases, leading to huge pendency in courts. On one hand, it clearly demonstrates that the people of this country have tremendous faith and trust in our judicial system. On the other hand, however, it reflects that despite our best efforts, the courts at different levels have not been able to dispose of pending cases promptly for a variety of reasons. There are now more than 42 lakh cases, both civil and criminal, pending in various courts in Maharashtra alone.
वेबिनार चालू आहे.
The total number of judges presently available for dealing with these cases is only about 2,300. It would take years to wipe out the pendency of cases. Such long delays in disposal of these cases is bound to lead to immense frustration and distrust among the litigants. This has generated the belief justice delayed is justice denied. However, the decisions of the large number of pending cases cannot be attributed to courts alone, given the paucity in the number of judges vis-a-vis the number of cases. Nevertheless, there cannot be any opinions that these pending cases have to be disposed of within a reasonable time. In order to preserve the trust and faith of people, it has become imperative to find out an effective alternate method of dispute resolution, by which the cases can be disposed of within a reasonable time to the satisfaction of all concerned. It is absolutely necessary for maintaining the efficacy and credibility of our judicial system. Therefore, new solutions were and are being explored. Alternate dispute resolution first started as a quest to find solutions to the problem of ever-increasing burden on the courts. A thought process which started off to find a solution to the docket explosion later developed into a separate field solely catering to the various kinds of mechanisms which would resolve the disputes without approaching the formal legal system. Alternate dispute resolution is generally classified into 4 categories: arbitration, conciliation, judicial settlement including settlement through Lok Adalat, and mediation. The Parliament enacted Arbitration and Conciliation Act with a view to provide quick redressal to the disputes by private arbitration. As a mechanism of alternate dispute resolution, conciliation has acquired statutory recognition in the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996. Mediation is a private informal dispute resolution process in which a neutral third person, the mediator, helps the disputing parties to reach an agreement. Lok Adalat is constituted under the National Legal Services Authorities Act 1987 pursuant to the constitutional mandate in Article 39A of the Constitution of India which contains various provisions for settlement of disputes and mediation. By which
Arbitration and
in the year
Conciliation Act
2002, Section 89 has been inserted in the Code of Civil Procedure, which provides for reference of the dispute by the court to arbitration, conciliation, judicial settlement, including settlement through Lok Adalat, and mediation. Alternate dispute resolution is faster, less expensive, and is also conclusive in most cases. Alternate dispute resolution offers a practical solution which has the capability of reducing the workload of courts. It is an attempt made by the legislators and judiciary to achieve the constitutional goal of achieving justice. Alternate dispute resolution in India was on the basis of Article 14 and 21 of the Constitution, which deal with equality and right to life. These articles are enshrined in Part 3 of the Constitution of India, which lists the fundamental rights of the citizens of India. Alternate dispute resolution also tries to achieve the directive principle of state policy relating to equal justice and free legal aid as laid down under Article 39A of the Constitution. The process of alternate dispute resolution, be it arbitration, mediation, negotiation, or Lok Adalats, implies a greater involvement of the disputing parties. Over the last few decades, there is significant increase in international trade and commerce, which has in turn resulted in considerable increase in the number of commercial disputes. Thus, alternate dispute resolution mechanisms have become more crucial for businesses operating in India as well as those doing businesses with Indians. Pre-institution mediation is now made mandatory in respect of certain commercial disputes under the Commercial Code. As a lawyer, one has to play a very active and positive role, and he or she should never forget dispute is a problem which needs to be solved. It is not a contest which needs to be won. The father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, while practicing as a lawyer in South Africa, settled many disputes between contesting parties. In his autobiography, he has said this, and I quote, "My joy was boundless. I had learned the true practice of law. I had learned to find out the better side of human nature and to enter men's heart. I realized that the true function of a lawyer was to unite parties riven asunder. The lesson was so indelibly burnt into me that a large part of my time during the 20 years of my practice as a lawyer was occupied in bringing about private compromises of hundreds of cases. I lost nothing thereby, not even money, certainly not my soul." Unquote. All you law aspirants carry great responsibility. Tomorrow, you will be an important part of the administration and dispensation of justice, should you choose to practice law. You need to recognize the new trend and acquire the techniques of alternate dispute resolution to serve the profession better. There are many lawyers who devote a lot of their time to negotiating conflicts. Studies have shown that their efforts to negotiate were more productive. Over the next generation, society's greatest opportunities will lie in tapping human inclinations towards collaborations and compromise rather than competition and rivalry. I may advert to the statement made by John F. Kennedy in this respect, and I quote, "Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate." I have no manner of doubt that in times to come, you all will work towards strengthening and carrying the alternate dispute resolution movement forward. Today's webinar is an excellent opportunity for all of you to understand a little more about alternate dispute resolution from Honorable Srimati Justice Roshan Dalvi, who has graciously consented to deliver today's lecture. Her ladyship is an eminent speaker having vast experience both at the bar and at the bench. I thank the organizers for making me part of today's program. My best wishes to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Justice Sayed sir. Uh, Thank you for giving us basic tenets of alternate dispute resolution and the ethos behind it, and also for enlightening all of us with your words of wisdom. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. We are truly honored to have you with us today. Uh, Now it is my honor to introduce today's eminent speaker to all of you. We have with us Honorable Srimati Justice Roshan Darvi, former Judge, Bombay High Court. Roshan Darvi Madam completed her graduation in Commerce with specialization in Business Management and LLM in 1978 from University of Bombay. She was appointed Fellow of Government Law College and awarded Merit Scholarship of University of Bombay for LLM. She practiced as a counsel on the original side of the Bombay High Court from August 1976 to September 1989 in civil and corporate matters. She was a visiting faculty at the Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies and Narsingh Munji Institute of Management Studies for Corporate Law between 1979 and 1989. She was appointed as a judge, Bombay City Civil and Sessions Court in September 1989. Served as a principal judge, Family Court, Mumbai in 2004. She was elevated to the Bombay High Court in 2005. She served as a judge at the Bombay High Court till 2015. Her long career of 10 years, her judgments include interpretation of commercial contracts, propriety and family litigation, law of evidence, and other socio-legal subjects, including rights of widows, testamentary laws, child rights, victims of domestic violence, human trafficking, etc. Justice Darvi has also authored a book titled Tangible Justice. She has conducted workshops for judicial officers on various legal subjects at national and state judicial academies. She was selected to participate in the judicial training program in gender and law at the University of Warwick, UK in 1996 and is a member of the Association of British Scholars Mumbai chapter for undertaking various social legal programs. She was invited to attend a meeting of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime at Vienna, Austria for the Protocol on Human Trafficking in 2006. She has attended the intensive study program in judicial training and education at the Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute at Halifax, Canada in 2009. She was invited to the annual conference on South Asia to deliver the keynote address on gender perspectives in Indian Constitution at the University of Wisconsin, US. We are absolutely delighted to have such a versatile personality like you to address us. Before her ladyship could take over, I once again request all the participants to mute themselves. I also would like to remind all the participants that after her ladyship's speech is over, her session is over, we will also have a question and answer session with her. I request all the participants, those who have questions related to today's topic of alternate dispute resolution, to kindly put their questions in the chat box. So after the session, I will be asking those questions to Darvi Madam. Uh, Over to Her Lordship, Justice Darvi Madam, please.
Good afternoon, Justice Sayed, the principal of BBA College, and friends. You had a I'm so sorry for all this disturbance, but let us not go into the fact that there is ADR and it is required now because that we all know. Okay? We will go into how ADR can help and what is this position for our students who are the citizens for tomorrow. Now, friends, there has been a legal justice system in our Bombay High Court from 1862. It has been working beautifully. But we have got so many cases that by 1989, we thought, the legislature thought, that we require something in addition to and an alternate with this system. Okay? That is how we have got this mediation. Now, this is something entirely new. It is a paradigm shift. And we must understand how it becomes so different. I would like to tell you this by way of a story. There was once a singer. He was a sitarist. He went on playing very well and went on practicing. He then went to his guru. And the guru took his exam. And he failed. Guru said it's not enough. He was not satisfied. Now this sitarist was working and working and working. But Guruji is not satisfied. He again started and he again started. But Guruji said, no, this is not the way you play sitar. So he was going to give up everything. That is just the position of our legal justice system today. We might as well give up because it has cracked completely. Just then, Guruji told him, take out your sitar from your right hand, put it in your left hand and begin. And this young sitarist again worked with all his mind and all his heart, and he became a great sitarist. This is what is an alternate thing, a paradigm shift in our work culture. And that is what ADR is all about. So friends, you are still students and you are going to make up the legal justice system of tomorrow. You have got a very new line of profession. In our times, we studied the law. We became lawyers. We learned to argue. We made mistakes. And then we shone. You have got a new line of profession where you don't have to argue. You have to understand what is the law, what are the facts, what is the problem of your clients and the other client. And you have to come together. You have to negotiate. And you have to work out the best possible solution for both the clients. That is called BATNA, the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. We may have a BATNA also, which is the worst alternative to a negotiated agreement. And how are we going to do it? Can you hear me? Hello, can you please hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So this is how we are going to begin to learn and understand this new kind of profession which is brought out for our young students. Our lawyers and our judges have failed. They have not brought it into the system so well. But you can do it right from the beginning because your colleges are taking so much interest in this work. You specialize as mediators. Okay, so now I will share my presentation with you and I will tell you step by step how you are going to do this.
काय नको ना माझे बिनकामाचा ह्यो कुटू आहे ह्यो हे एकटाच काय काय करत असते
Ma'am, you may continue.
Yes, okay.
Disturbance.
I'm just opening the very well. I'll just go to my PowerPoint presentation and I will be telling you now not what is mediation because you know what alternative dispute resolutions are, arbitration, mediation, conciliation, and judicial settlement and Lok Nyayalaya. But how are you going to be good mediators is what I would like to tell you. So as we go along, just as Justice Sayyad had said, we have had one of the world's biggest mediators, Mahatma Gandhi, in our country. So now the mediations that we are learning is from America, which is old wine in new bottle, or new wine in old bottle, as you might want to say. We have Panchayat Raj in our country, and that was mediation only. That was an alternative dispute resolution. Thereafter, under the British justice system, we got the rule of law, and that became the adjudicatory mode. Now we are veering away from that, so for certain matters, that adjudicatory mode alone will have to be used. If we have to discuss points of law, if we have to interpret agreements, we would have to go to court. But there are thousands of suits where we need not have gone to court. And if parties have come to court because there is no other way for them, then we have to show them this additional, appropriate, or alternative dispute resolution. In the world today, it is called conflict resolution. It is gone far ahead of the dispute resolution. Any conflict, even between school students, even between college students, is made to be resolved by the parties. In Australia and America, teachers don't intervene, parents don't intervene. They tell the children to resolve their disputes. So they know from early on that there are conflicts in everyone's lives which have to be resolved. And this goes up to the international stage between countries, where parties who are with two countries, like say America and Mexico, India and Pakistan, or whatever else, they have to resolve their disputes by peaceful means and get the best out of each one. So this is how we will be beginning to have the resolution of our disputes. Now I may tell you that when you are dealing what you are going to is conflicts. You are going to have to sit across the table with your other there are different kinds of suits, civil suits, which come up, which you will have to negotiate. And right from negotiation, you will have to go through all of these processes. Now I put on my presentation. So now therefore, when we are going to sit across a table, it will be lawyer, lawyer, client, client. Lawyer, client, lawyer, client. This is how the main scenario will be. Now let us take an example of a very small matter. For example, in a family court dispute, the wife has applied for maintenance, and there are two lawyers, the lawyer of the husband and the lawyer of the wife. What they would have to do really is not really fight out in court as to whether the maintenance of 3,000 has to be paid or 30,000 has to be paid. It is best that they sit down together so that when you are a lawyer, you sit with the counselor or with the other lawyer and you work out. You are for the wife and the other lawyer is for the husband. Let us say, for example, that the wife says that I will not give a divorce. When the husband is offering her, say, 20 lakhs by way of divorce. But she would need to give a divorce if the husband gives her 40 lakhs. Now the husband says, I would like to increase because I want a divorce and I want to get remarried. And I want to be free of this wife. The wife says that I will not go less than at least 30. Okay. Now, these are thousands of matters which come up like this, and I'm giving you a very clear example. Now, the husband says, I cannot pay 30, but I will be in a position to pay 20.
मैम पीपीटी नहीं दिख रही है आपकी.
So my presentation is not working on this system. I've got it separately. Right. To our example, students, we have to work out how between 20 lakhs and 30 lakhs we will come to some figure. Now we talk to the husband and we talk to the wife. And we have to be creative in mediation. That results in some kind of conciliation. So we tell them, okay, you can give 20 lakhs, very well, but you cannot give the next 5 lakhs, which the wife definitely wants to come to 25. So will you take out an LIC policy, for example? And the husband cannot say no, because for LIC policy, you have to pay premium for that, say 20 years. So it is something like an EMI for 20 years. The amounts of the premium are very little. And therefore the husband will say, all right, I will take an LIC policy for the 5 lakh that I cannot pay now. Now we have to talk to the wife. And we have to tell the wife, look, you are getting 20 lakhs at present. You take this 5 lakh policy, which will be for your old age. From your 20 lakhs, you can live the life the way you want at present. And 5 lakhs remain like your pension or your provident. And in all, I should agree, because she is going to have it. Now, once this agreement is reached, that is the basic agreement. You have to work out how this agreement will be implemented. So you have to tell the husband, let's see, you will have to pay, you have to take this policy in the name of the wife, at the address of the wife. You will continue to pay the premium. It is like giving installments. So if you make a single default, the policy will lapse. Therefore, if you make a single default, it will amount to contempt of court. So never make a default. And you have to tell the wife that you are waiting patiently. Each year, you will get the receipt of the policy. And you know that your insurance policy is going on. If you don't get the receipt, you can apply to court for contempt. And both these parties can go home happily. Both of them can have their marriage dissolved. Both of them can get remarried and start their life afresh. And the wife would have reasonable amount of maintenance, and the husband would have such amount of maintenance that he can afford. So I have understood this basic principle. That is the principle of negotiation. Now this includes an art and a science. And art is the creative thing which I told you about. The science is really what you would have to do under the law. Means under our mediation practices and procedures. Now, how do you do this? You have to have the faith of all the litigants and all the clients. So you have to tell them, I am going to be the mediator. So therefore, friends, you will have to say, I will want to negotiate. I am the advocate for one of the parties. So we will get the advocate of the other party and sit down together. If otherwise, there are 2 advocates and 2 parties, and they want to refer this dispute to somebody else who becomes the mediator, you can become the mediator. And you can say, like Mahatma Gandhi has said, that I have settled now so many compromises, I have lost nothing thereby, not even money, certainly not my soul, which is what Justice Sayyad just spoke about in the morning. Presentation has again gone off. I would have loved to show you that. Now this works on the science. What is the science? The science is the doctrine of POS. P-O-S. POS is first analyzing and ascertaining your problems. O is creating options. And S is working out a solution. So in my illustration, I showed you what was the problem. The problem was that the wife had to pay the maintenance. The husband could not pay as much as she said he would accept. Then you worked out the options. Okay, pay whatever you can now, and the remainder you pay by way of an insurance policy. And you worked out a solution. How will he pay? He will have to pay the wife in the name of the wife at her address. Make sure that the receipt is the wife. Now this is the doctrine of POS. For this, you might there are 2 lawyers and 2 parties in front of you. You will have to tell them that look, you can resolve this dispute. You know the law and you have learned the facts from the client. You will have to now interior facts, the indoor facts as we would say, the inside story from the client. and you work out with one client, then you work out with another client, then you call and you have a caucus. Once you are doing that, you will understand the inside story. What is the real thing that is troubling this? It may be a brief, it may not have gone at all. But there will be certain things which you will be able to ascertain when you are talking with them alone.
ऑनलाइन चालू से भाषण ऑनलाइन भाषण चालू
You cannot hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay, I got a message that somebody cannot hear me. Very well. If you can hear me, then I'll just continue this.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you find out the inside story, you know what the husband or the wife will say? You have to ask them why this marriage has broken down. Why do you want divorce and why do you want maintenance? In one very strange matter, with a mediator, when the proceedings were going on, the husband tells the mediator, my wife never did anything for me. She never did anything for the home. She never wanted to work out our marriage. The only thing that she did was make a good omelette. So the husband was listening, the mediator was listening, I'm sorry, and he noted this in his mind. There was one good thing of the wife. Now he called the wife, and the wife started how the husband was always not with her, and she wanted to get out of the marriage. She couldn't put in anything because he was always in the office, etc., etc., and she was suspicious. The mediator tells the wife, but your husband still remembers. Now this changed the entire scenario. Oh, and somewhere. And now there was a money will be settling this matter, and now let us work out how that matter will be settled. If, of course, the party has made a wrong claim in law, the insurance company said that will not be settled and will have to be adjudicated. So there are some disputes which the courts will have to do. You cannot take away everything from the courts, and therefore you have to exercise that caution. And so as to enable the courts to deal with those matters of legal points, you have to take out of the system those matters which are very clean and clear. That is the beauty of adjudication and mediation working like a pair. They are a real good pair, and they will work in their respective fields. And then all these areas can be wiped off so that courts are left free to deal with those legal disputes. Now take land references for example. In land references, the property is acquired and the government pays the compensation. But the parties don't accept that compensation. The parties say that the market value of the property is not this. It is that. It is something more. So they will bring in the various agreements of their neighbors in the similar year, etc., to prove that they will get more compensation. But parties know and the government knows what is the real market. So if you take the ready reckoner and if you take it as a guide or as a base value, then you will be able to work out how much compensation each one will have to pay. And if there are many co-owners and some co-owners who don't want to share with the other co-owners, there will be a question of law. That question of law can be decided by the courts. But how much compensation and what is the market value can be decided by negotiation between the parties. So most of the land references can get disposed of without reference. Now, if we go to bank suits, the banks give loans. There are many parties who give off part of their loans. Then they cannot pay off. So they become NPA, non-performing assets. And the bank takes to liquidation. But the bank is not interested only in litigating. The bank is interested in getting the money back so that it can continue its banking activities with its other clients. Now that is when mediation becomes important. Because how much you will pay and when you will pay becomes the key issue. Now the bank will have an OPT, one-time payment, OTP, one-time payment. And a party cannot make one-time payment. So you work out with the bank manager in how many installments the party will make this payment and you work with that. There is no other point of law. So those matters get outside the judicial system and go into mediation. Now let us take summary suits. Summary suits are the ones on written contract or on any negotiable instrument or on a bank guarantee. Now these are documents which are executed by parties. You have to only interpret those documents. If there is a point of law, the courts interpret. But quite often, there is no point of law. There is just a dishonored check. And the person who has dishonored the check has to make the payment. There is a presumption against them, but he is not making the payment. It is good to work out with that person and let him make the payment. So those can go off in summary suits for promissory notes, dishonored checks, etc. I may tell you that the dishonored checks today go under 138 of the Negotiable Instruments Act. You must be knowing that. And therefore, the magistrates' courts are crowded with 138 applications. But 138 is a civil as well as a criminal remedy. And the government is trying to decriminalize this so that it will all come in the civil justice system. And parties will have to make payments of court fees, lawyers' fees, and then get the judgment. These judgments have to be worked out expeditiously. And mediators sitting in different offices will be able to do that very well. Then we go to family disputes. The kind of example which I just gave you, there may be family disputes between two parties, the husband and the wife. There may be family disputes also with children, the custody of the children, and myriad other things. These are things that can work out not only in mediation, but all of these things can be taken up together in one mediation. So you can solve 4 or 5 disputes in one mediation, enter into an agreement, and then take just a decree from the court. And it's what can be done in mediation better than in execution. Then there are what are called 490 cases. These are cases of mental and physical violence and harassment. It is under the IPC. So it goes to a court. This is not a compoundable offense. Therefore, you cannot compound it. And therefore, even these kind of cases can in mediation. Yes, you have to tell the husband and the wife that look, you cannot get along. There is mental or physical violence. End the marriage and come out with some kind of a settlement so that you can get along with your life. So just as I told you about the maintenance matter. So 428 cases, 138 cases are the cases eminently suited to look parallel and any other matters. For example, the specific relief cases. For example, cases of company law, cases under the insolvency law, they all can get settled by consent of the party. And mind you, the parties would consent. The lawyers may not consent. Therefore, you are a new breed of lawyers. You are the new persons who are going to come into the legal profession. You can specialize as mediators. Now today, in MNLU, they are starting a new course on mediation. It is a master's degree course of 2 years. So any graduate can enter into that course. And they will be learning how various disputes can get specifically settled. Like I told you about the bank matter. The bank managers want that matters to be settled. The corporate managers will want their company's matters to be settled. And all of these can come to a mediator. So you have a very bright future. But for that, you have to understand the art and the science of mediation. Now, when you are going to be only a mediator with 2 lawyers and 2 clients, then you have to learn how to. This slide will show you that I told you that lawyer, client can come together. The next slide will show you the doctrine of courts. But when that doctrine comes about, then you have to use the lawyers effectively. Now the lawyers are very good at arguing. And the lawyers of today have specialized that. They have been trained only in they will argue the question of law. But in mediation, they don't require the question of law. So you have to use the lawyers effectively. You have to allow the lawyers to be there so that as a mediator you understand what is the question of law involved. So you are not going to deal with that and settle that question of law. That only the judges can do. But having learned that, you will be able to understand who is in the right, who is in the wrong. You will be able to understand that both parties could be in the right, and it is a very arguable question of law which the judges can only do. You will also be able to understand if one party is a little more cussed than the other, and how to bring about that party to understand what negotiate. So you have to tell, okay, now the other parties case. That is extreme. Lawyers who are attending mediation. Now what happens is, say for example, in a DV suit, we have got mediation right from the beginning. And there are many law firms who are specializing in mediation. For example, Majlis. For example, Lawyers Collective. Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Several colleges have got their mediation programs in place. And they deal with these. So that they go to those mediators because so many women don't want the marriage to be dissolved. They only want some kind. And therefore, if you work out when that woman has come, call the husband and work out with him. Many matters get resolved. They may not even go to court. If they have gone to court, they will get out of the justice. So you can use those lawyers in those times to tell the parties that you will be negotiating on their behalf, and if you come to a settlement, the agreement will be reached. Now there is one thing that we must understand. One party will want this agreement immediately, but the other party will want to delay. He will say, let me go home and let me ask my father, let me ask my lawyer, and I'll come back. If you allow that, so many times, the mediation will not work out. So when you are a mediator, you owe a duty to both the parties to continue the work for as long as it takes. In America, mediations go on for 14 hours at a stretch, with 1 hour break for lunch or something like that. Why? Because when the parties know the matter, and when they are disclosing their inside story to the mediator cannot call it off. Wait on. Let the parties come to a basic settlement and then make them write down the points of settlement. They may make a proper agreement later on, but they must sign the points of settlement. And the mediation will be the suit or whatever is the dispute can be disposed of. The petition itself will go off. If it is not successful, you make a one-line report that the mediation has failed and the matter will go back to court. Then it is for the courts to take it up immediately, so that if there is one party who has wanted to delay the litigation, then he is not allowed to delay, and he becomes the adjudication will take place immediately. Now, I have told you about these kind of matters. But there are matters of civil nature. The entire gamut of civil jurisdiction is amenable to litigation, aside from some little quasi-criminal matters also, which I told you about. Now, quite often, the bottom line is money. How much will you pay for me to forget this whole thing? Now, these are business parties. They know where it is that their bread is buttered. So these business people would want to bring an end to the dispute so that they can carry on with their business. Now, if there are property matters, then there is a different slant to it. How will you settle the property matters? Suppose there is one property, many lakhs of matters will have just one property in dispute between the parties. That may be a small hut or it may be a large flat with a penthouse, but there is one property. Now, when both parties want that property, you cannot divide that property. What will you do? There will be a buy-off and a sell-off. Okay? So one party will have to buy off the other party, and the other party will take the money and go on. So one party only will continue to have that property. For that, what do you require? You require the market price. Now there is a ready reckoner for the market price. So you see the base value, you find out from the ready reckoner whatever it is that is the market price. The party will put that price, and if suppose that property is worth a little more because it is a better property in that same locality where the market price is given, you put one price, and both the parties will have to agree. And both parties will say, okay, I want to buy a property at this price, or I want to sell the property at this. You cannot have two prices for one property. That if it is price, but if I have to sell it, then I will put it at price 1,000. That will not work. So you have to bring the parties to that, because many parties believe that the buying price and the selling price can be different, and therefore there are disputes. Now, if there are more than one property, then what will you do? Suppose there are two properties. Both properties may not be equal. There may be a shop which is left by the father, and there may be a residential premises which is left by him. And you are two sons of that father. Then you can't say that one son will have the shop and another son will have the residential property only. They may not agree. Both may be living together. Both may not be doing business together. Then how do you do that? You bring in both the properties together. Make their market value. 1 plus 1 is 2. And the market value of both the properties. Then you ask the parties who will take at the market value of these properties. Or you keep both the properties separate. Find out their separate market values. And ask, as if to say there is one property, two different times, buy off and sell. Okay? You will be able to get at that time the inside story of the clients. And they will be telling you why they want the shop. Because they will say, only that brother was carrying on business. I also want to carry on business. That brother doesn't want to carry on business with you. So then what would you do? Buy or sell. Okay? Now sometimes there are more properties than that. Suppose there are 4 properties. The easy thing in negotiation is to find out which is the best property, second best, third best, and fourth best. Today, the market value only decides which is the best property. Nobody thinks that this property has got a lovely view and therefore I want that property. No, there is a property. Best market price. No. If the parties that one property 1, number 1, then you will have to take number 1. The price of 1 and 4 would be more. Otherwise, the parties will have to the difference in the property. Now, these are the kind of civil suits where you will have one or more properties. It is called recovery of possession. You must have learned that in your Transfer of Property Act. The kind of suit is to he may be in possession as a landlord, tenant, or as a licensee or whatever. There's only one property. Okay. Now, when you have to sell out, when you have to buy over, first get the market, and then who will possession can be protected, right? Then you have specific performance. For example, many the builder says that I want all the money, and the flat purchaser goes on giving him in installments some money. He does not bill him, and the party says I will not pay you any more. These matters are also amenable to mediation very easily. What happens is the builder is said, look, I'm not getting steel, I'm not getting cement, I cannot carry on construction. So the so that the builder can get more steel and cement and then carry on construction, or work out that all right, give me back my money so that I can go to another builder. So how we are going to work out that in a specific performance suit? You will have to it is called a novation. Under Section 62 of the Indian Contract Act, we have novation. And of course, does work out, another kind can be undertaken. Similarly, that will be with commercial disputes, money matters, trade disputes, for example, sale of goods, suits for damages, the other party and pay them when you have applied for damages. How will you work out? Get the two businessmen together, talk with, and you will be able to find out what is the real deal by let's talk. Then there is volatility. So within the company, okay, maybe taking over some money, and the shareholders are not happy, and the members of the they will go to CL, they will talk to the disputes, and they will be able to see how there can be a buy-over. A company has many properties, it will have a plant, it will have a machinery, are you going to sell up all of these and of the members, pay off the creditors, or are you going to continue the business like don't all of these things, these are mission matters. You will come to them later on in your life. But when you come to them, these are the matters which are amenable for settlement. Would be family disputes, petitions for custody and excess of children. Very fragile matter. Parties make the welfare of the mother or the father. Mother or the father have got only duties and responsibilities for their child. They don't have rights in law, but a child has many rights. So, which are these rights and how you will work out? Today we have got so going to have your minors come to you, mother and father. Whom will they live with? There are many factors. Karnataka High Court passed a clear order of joint custody. Now, this was because the mediations must have failed, but mediation as a semi-judge, you will be able to decide that, see, at Ganpati festival, Diwali festival, the child will be with the father. For the birthday, the mother and father will come together and have the child's birthday. In vacations, how will they do that? And all of these things can get settled in family days. I already told you about the other disputes, the maintenance matters, etc. But then there are yet other family suits which you have seen on my slide, and they also can be disposed of in a similar manner by mediation and conciliation. So friends, I have told you about the different types of matters. I have told you about the different strategies that you will have to adopt in these matters, and it will be ideal to work out this video. So there are 4 arms of this mediation: the judge, the main mediator or the coordinator, all the mediators who are working in that jurisdiction, and the parties to all the disputes. These are the 4 arms. And all of these parties will have to do their work separately and together. The judges will have to see which matters are amenable for mediation and refer those matters to mediation. It becomes very difficult for mediators to work. Once the judges have referred those matters, for mediation, let's say here, if you can see in this partition suit, administration suit, partnership dispute, these are all matters which can be referred to mediation. And then, after that, the coordinator must distribute them amongst the mediators. The mediators will take up those and give the date. They will have to work out the caucus. They will have to work out the partner and the partner, the best alternative to a negotiated settlement in this one, and work in between. And the parties will have to go with the spirit that we will get good justice today rather than a better justice tomorrow. A bird in hand is better than 2 in the bush. Businessmen as well as, say, husband and wife and with children can work out all of these things as 4 arms of mediation. Now there are different kinds of parties and there are different kinds of settlements. I have told you about the settlements. But what about the parties? You don't know how these parties are. Some parties want a negotiated settlement. Some parties are very passive and they say, I want a positional bargaining only. This is my legal position. In mediation, there is nothing like a legal position actually, because the matter is such that you might as well work out some things which you give out and some things which you give, so that there is a win-win situation. So the compactness of this mediation program today is the parties, the mediators, the suits and matters, and how you work it out with the 4 branches of life. Therefore, the greatest journey of your life will begin with a single step. The first step is taken by your colleges. Today, we have got the basic law aspect of mediation in place. You will have to work out how this works out. You may be able to take up a course in mediation. There are many courses which have come up, weekend courses, week courses, 1 week courses, 1 year courses. Tata Institute of Social Sciences have got a master in social dispute, and we work separate admitted should do and should not do. Now, when you see this, stand and empathize. I cannot agree with one party and disagree with another party, because the party will feel that he is partial. Mediator will feel right. solve the dispute, not in can use the. Now, this is the last. First, to introduce the concept. Remember that there is something. Whatever happens here, then I bring you both together and I will talk to you both. After the party starts, not only that it is a matter for maintenance, but what is the problem? Why can the husband not? In some matters, the wife will have to pay the husband because today wives have come of age and wives are doing better than the husbands. So you have to first understand you are. You have to develop the options. You have to ask about the alternatives. Like I told you, the LIC policy, it is an alternative. It is an option. You have to create those alternatives and options. And you have to tell the parties, why is it like this? Why should it not be like this? Tell both the parties in front of each other that, see, if you don't settle today, you will be going on. How long will it take? What will you get? The judgment of, and then you have to here and both of us. Expenses. The husband has to take care of his parents, for example. All of these things will have to be accounted for. So please put yourself in other parties. Similarly, you have to tell the flat owner to put it in the place of the owner. Then you move towards the situation. See, you are agreeable with this, you are agreeable with that. Never mind. Let us write down what we agree. Other points can get created and generated. For example, if you are going to work, and you work out, you will make another close. It can be drafted or it can be drafted. That's why it should be relevant. But at least the points of settlement must be made. And that is enlarging the pile. There's a pile of disputes. The mediator and takes over. Now the attributes of mediation. There must be a joint session focus. So it is informal, the evidence is nothing. You can work. It's very sensitive. And the main thing is that at the end of it, both parties must smile. Both parties must shake hands so that they can continue their family relations. But then starting with themselves. And you do that. Open attitude. Now, as I told you, different kinds of parties avoid us. Some that's wrong. It is not. But if you to me that is remember years ago, two like tickets. See, and you go to another country or another city. So two not and finish off very good. I'll give you an example of my own method. I did after I retired as a one party came to me for a consultation. And there were various disputes, not only between the HUFs, but also between one of them. So, more than that. So I told them, what are the other problems? And that is how I found out other disputes. I told them that let us call the other party, let us call also your wife, and we will work out between HUF as well as between your own family how to do it. So he and wife and client came to be decided. If you are willing to and then there was and it finished up again. So you see, these avoiders have to be dealt with. When someone comes to now that is one is to take between two companies, between the company and its members, between say when there is a sale of goods, you will another contract between the parties, which will have to be and the other kind is the cases where the bottom line is money. How much will I get? If I get rupees, no. If I get 1,000, then many thousands of matters are. Now, therefore, as I told you, to arrive at a figure, is fine. Then, to arrive at a figure, do something else. Choose between properties. I told you 1 and 4, 2 and 3. That is another way of working. Or you give one figure, buy and sell. Simple as that. So I think I have covered all of these aspects. The greatest journey will start with a simple step. That is the step taken by your colleges. I thank all the colleges for doing that. May you go far. All the best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Justice Dardi Madam, for this intellectually stimulating session on this important topic of alternate dispute resolution. We are extremely sorry for all the technical glitches that happened. So we sincerely apologize to all the participants as well as the
I
dignitaries.
also apologize.
Before we move on to the question and answer session, a small announcement. We are right now sharing a link of the feedback form chat box. So I request all the participants to kindly fill that form in order to receive e-certificates of participation in this session. Also, due to high number of participants, uh, distributing e-certificates might take few days. So it might take a week to 10 days for you to receive the e-certificates. However, you will definitely receive the e-certificates if you have filled the feedback form. I'm right now sharing the link to the feedback form in the chat box. And now I request our final year student, Shreyas Gavankar, to ask questions that are posed by our participants to her ladyship. Over to Shreyas.
Thank you, Neha madam. The first question is there any statistical data as to how many cases have been referred to Lok Adalats? How much percentage of matters have been successfully settled? Also, how effective and successful has Lok Adalat been as an alternative dispute resolution method?
I will not be able to tell you the figures. You will get the figures from the court registry, but there are many Lok Adalats. There is a pension Lok Adalat. There is a family court Lok Adalat. There is money matters Lok Adalat. And those kind of matters are collected from time to time. And parties have agreed to this situation. But the figures I will not be able to give.
Yes, ma'am. So the second question is, to save court's time, can there be particular parameters set while filing a writ petition?
Parameters for a writ petition are clearly legal under Article 226 and 227 of the Constitution. But there are many matters in writ petitions also today which are amenable to settlement by mediation. One of the beautiful things that Justice Mohit Shah, our Chief Justice, has done was that in these kind of writ petitions, where many stakeholders are involved, there are many government parties, there are many PIL litigants, etc. We used to have a conference in the Bombay High Court Conference Hall, and parties would be allowed to make their grievances and choices, etc. And we were having a nice negotiation, and we had worked out some of the matters that way, and directions were given. So even in writ petition, this can be done. In environmental matters, for example, this can be done. In even trademarks matters, that has worked out.
I think the query is precisely solved. So the next question is, what is the difference between regular judicial trial and ADR?
A regular judicial trial is under the CPC, Order 88 onwards. So the parties come to the court, they file their pleadings, the court raises issues, records admissions, then the parties come by way of oral and documentary evidence. The evidence is recorded, there is cross-examination, there is arguments, written arguments, and then a judgment. This all takes a lot of time because at the time the judges are working, they are working only on one matter. So thousands of other matters which are on the docket of that court will not be taken up. The ADR mode is the alternative mode. In some of the matters, it is the most appropriate dispute resolution. In some of the matters, it is an additional dispute resolution. But whatever it be, it is alternate to the court. So it is flexible. You have to get the parties together, negotiate, and come to a settlement. That is all that is to mediation. There are no documents required. There is nothing in writing and oral and arguments and nothing. You tell the parties to take their heart out and tell you what it is, and you will be able to decide. That is the essential difference.
Thank you so much, madam. So the last question is, what is the difference between, sorry, I'll reframe it. How successful Lok Adalats have been as methods of ADR?
This is what you asked me right in the beginning. They are rather successful for certain types of matters. But Lok Nyayalayas are not successful when there are matters of importance of commercial laws, corporate laws, etc. They are not even referred to Lok Nyayalayas because they deal with so many cases on a given day. So smaller matters where compensation can be given, like motor accident, insurance matters, pension matters, how much pension is not given, when it should be given, etc., are dealt with. See, so far as students are concerned, you are not going to be on the Lok Nyayalaya for a long time because you are not a senior lawyer or a judge or something. But so far as students are concerned, mediation and conciliation, you can start off from day one. If you have got that kind of mindset that you can settle disputes, say between children also, you will be able to do it between adults and between disputing adults in a context. So the ADR for you essentially is mediation. Arbitration also comes later because only when you are a settled lawyer or a judge can you decide a dispute. And therefore, that part of ADR is separate. When we deal with college students, we deal essentially with mediation. When I told you about those courses, that master's degree course of 2 years is only in mediation.
Thank you so much, Darvi madam. Due to paucity of time, we will have to cut short the question and answer session. Maybe we can have Darvi madam some other day for maybe detailed conversation face to face. A small reminder once again, please fill the feedback form that has been shared in the chat box. And thank you so much, Darvi madam, for answering the question. Now, towards the last part of our session, I request Shri Yatin Game sir, Secretary, District Legal Services Authority, Mumbai, to propose the floor. Thanks. Game sir, over to you.
Very good afternoon to all. We reach at the concluding session of this wonderful webinar. I will not take more time. I know we are running against time. And first of all, I apologize for the delay of the program due to some technical issue and internet problem. First of all, on behalf of the Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority, Mumbai, District Legal Services Authority, Mumbai, as well as the Apte Law College, Mumbai, I extend thanks to all the honorable dignitaries, speaker, and the participant. I wish to express my gratitude to Honorable Sri Justice A. Said, Judge of Bombay High Court, and the Executive Chairman of the Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority. His Lordship was pleased to highlight importance of ADR mechanism, its ability to dispense justice. His Lordship also emphasizes that the law students should recognize new trend and apply the techniques of the ADR. I assure that all the law aspirants will respond his Lordship appeal and encourage ADR as a part of their duties to dispense the justice. Thank you, Lordship, for spare your valuable time and for precious guidance. I wish to express my gratitude to Honorable Eminent Speaker, Honorable Srimati Justice Roshan Darvi Ma'am, former Judge of the Bombay High Court. The leadership has given the excellent coverage on topic of the understanding the alternate dispute resolutions it is knowledgeable, informative, and motivated, especially to the law students and young lawyers to choose their career of ADR in law profession. Thank you, leadership, for spare your valuable time. I would also like to acknowledge my gratitude to Honorable Sri Abhay Mantri sir, the Member Secretary, Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority, Mumbai. Honorable sir took charge recently and taken move to motivate the Legal Services Authority for using the online platform for reaching to the common persons. And today's webinar is also a part of such marathon online legal literacy program. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind cooperation encouraging us. I also wish to express my gratitude to Honorable Sri S.B. Agrawal Sahib, Principal Judge, City Civil and Session Court, Mumbai, and Chairman of the District Legal Services Authority, Mumbai. Honorable sirs always encourage us to organize the legal literacy program and sensitize the common persons about the law. Thank you very much, sir. I also express big thanks to Todkar sir, Deputy Secretary, Maharashtra State Legal Services Authority, Sri Ajit Yadav, Deputy Registrars, High Court Bombay, the entire Malsa team and staff for their kind cooperation and support. I also express my gratitude to all my colleagues, respected secretaries of all districts across the Maharashtra for being a part of this webinar. My special thanks to Srimati Vaishali Guru ma'am, in charge principal of Advocate Balasaheb Apte Law College, Mumbai. This is the ma'am who took initiative to organize this program and coordinated with the all stakeholders by making the tireless effort. And ma'am has not only welcomed the all dignitaries, but she has also performed the role of the anchors in due to this technical issue. So thank you, ma'am. I also express gratitude to the management, lecturer, staff, technical support, and staff members of the Advocate Balasaheb Apte Law College and for their kind support. I also express thanks to Srimati Professor Neha Athawale for being the wonderful anchoring and made this function memorial by her beautiful words. I also express thanks to Advocate Aline Marcus, panel lawyers of the DLSA, for technical supports and being a part of District Legal Services Authority in organizing the marathon webinar. I also thanks to the entire staff of the District Legal Services Authority, Mumbai, for the support. Last but not least, I express big thanks to participants, law students, lawyers, and all members of the legal fraternity across the state for being a part of this webinar in big strength and with active participations. Without your support and patience, this program would not have been succeeded. Once again, on behalf of the organizer, I thanks to all for being a part of this wonderful webinar. I once again thanks to all of you for being a part of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gamesh sir. We shall end today's program with National Anthem. But before we play National Anthem, a very small request that due to bad network, the video playing of the National Anthem may be affected. However, we all shall bear the sanctity and protocol of our National Anthem in mind. And in respect to our national flag and National Anthem, I request all to kindly mute themselves network. The video playing of the National Anthem may be affected. However, we all shall bear the sanctity and protocol of our National Anthem in mind. And in respect to our national flag and National Anthem, I request all to kindly mute themselves and rise for the National Anthem. National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता रहे